Hello, everybody. My name is Domeric Green, and today I'm going to talk about why I believe college sport funding shouldn't be decreased. Did you know that Clemson University just recently discontinued their track and field program? According to Ford R, 3 months into the pandemic, 30 Division One sports programs was discontinued due to save money. So imagine how many Division Two schools who have less funding to begin with, or Division Three schools had to discontinue their teams. In this speech, I'm gonna focus on three different aspects on why I believe sports funding shouldn't be decreased. My first point will be the impact it will have on players and alumni. Playing on a college sports team is a blessing, from the brotherhood, the big wins, and the crushing losses. Some people even meet their best friends on college teams. So imagine being on a team that has a long history of great people who played on that team at one point, and you can't even live on their legacy because the team is discontinued. According to Ford R, a now Akron alum, Clayton Murphy became the first American man to win an Olympic medal in the 800 meters since 1992. Murphy was later praised at Akron with a heroic welcoming. He led a press conference on the football field, and Akron was very excited to using him as the face of their marketing for Akron University. So later, his accomplishment was even compared to 100 bowl games. 4 years later, Clayton Murphy's old cross-country team from Akron was discontinued. Murphy's comments on that was, they threw away a major part of what made myself and others go to that university. Decreasing college sport funding will only increase the likelihood of events like this happening. College sports. My second point is the impact sports actually have on their universities. College sports teams strongly influence the people that come to their school, no matter if it's an athlete or a non-athlete. So big universities like, I would say, Penn State or Ohio State, who bring in a lot of people for the sport and for the people that are just fans, and people who are fans who come to the game, plus the students that are already fans. That brings in culture for the school, revenue for the school, and things like that. Also, being an athlete at Keystone College, football is what actually brought me to Keystone. I didn't know about Keystone College until I knew about the football team. So that being said, I know there's more people like me on the campus. So I feel like Keystone and football has brought revenue and culture to the school. And also, according to Claude B, Penn State University is one of the top schools, and they brought in about 81 mil in complete revenue. And Ohio State bringing about 90 mil in complete revenue. According to Dosh K, most of the revenue made from athletics in schools are not directly put back into the program. They're spread around to the campus, things of that nature, not just to the team. So lowering the profit, the sport funding to those teams, that's going to take less money away from those universities that are benefiting from their high profit football teams or basketball teams or whatever. My third point is understanding smaller sports spend more than they earn. Every sports team is not a high profiting team, but there's a good part to this. There are a lot of college sports teams that spend more than they generate in a profit in the end. This can cause universities to discontinue their teams because they're spending more than they actually make in the end for constant years. Some schools are lucky enough to have successful sports teams like that make a lot of profit, while they have a lot of other sports teams that don't make really that much profit. For example, Duke University's basketball team. Duke University's basketball center, there's really not any other hype around Duke University in sports other than their basketball team. So when a school has like sports teams like that with a high profiting basketball team, the sports that maybe like tennis or golf, or if they have sports like that, could benefit from the profit of the basketball team since they make so much money. And according to Dosh K, Michigan University only had 4 men's teams make positive revenue. So that means every other men's team made negative profit at the end of their season. So they spent more money than they actually had. They went over their budget. Also, every female sport on Michigan went in the negative also. So only 4 teams made profit. So the money from them 4 teams go back into the team and around the school. So if the sport funding is decreased, how can schools benefit at all? This is indeed an issue, but if college sports funding is decreased, how can high-earning teams actually help themselves and the other teams that fail to do the things that they do and make a lot of profit? They go in the negative. How can the higher teams help the lower teams? So they don't generate enough income for themselves, so it would mess them up in the outcome. In conclusion, I explained my point of view with credible evidence why sport funding shouldn't be decreased by focusing on how it may affect alumni and the players, how looking at the element of how sports actually affect the universities, and understanding some sports teams don't make enough money to actually support themselves, and those higher teams actually help them benefit. Thank you for listening.